This is necessary. It is urgent. You need to take care of it now. You don't need to wait because of rules and regulations. And you have to be educated. You have to be on top of the best practices, right? In order to give the best care.
So, how are you
I am
doing
doing
today?
I'm doing well.
You doing well? Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Juanita told me that you used to be a nurse.
Yes. Um, since I was a nurse in 1993 and I retired in 2016.
Oh, wow. What area did you work in?
Well, at the beginning, I worked throughout the hospital, but the last 10, 12 years, I settled in ICU.
Okay. Awesome. Did you work with adults or did you work with kids?
Mostly adults. The kids that came in were teenagers, basically, because it was more of a medical hospital with pediatrics. So if you were under 16, you went to pediatrics, but sometimes they had, the older teenagers, sometimes they put them in ICU, the regular ICU, medical ICU.
Oh, okay. So, did you like being a nurse?
Oh yeah, I like patient care and I like helping families and, you know, just being able to listen sometimes and um but it got a point when I was, sometimes had to give medications that I didn't feel comfortable with.
Mm,
There was more of a conviction than sometimes it was more let's just say the effects of the medicines were sometimes more dangerous or counterproductive than giving the medicine for as a treatment.
Hmm. That's interesting. And then what did you do in that case?
ah ah reason reasoning.
Because the
What a
patients,
prudent, I usually thought the question I asked, what would a prudent nurse do?
Mhm. Because I know that they have the five patient rights. I don't know if you had that when you were a nurse, but they have the five patient rights, like patients have a right to refuse.
Yes,
So
yes.
if you
Well,
educated them,
if you do, mostly in ICU, most of these patients are not in a position or in a condition, you know, most of them are medicated, right? And
mm,
sedated.
mm,
So most of the time you have, what would a prudent nurse do?
mm,
You have to be educated and know what with your education, what would you do? Your knowledge base.
mhm.
Because if you
No,
do everything that is told you without having any foundation or having any, nothing to fall back on, have not having that the ability to make different choices. Some
mhm,
people just do things because they're told to do it. But then a
mhm.
prudent nurse have to be able to be knowledgeable of what she's doing and the effects it have on the patient.
Yeah, definitely. So what patient have you had that sticks out the most?
Oh, I would say I don't know if it would say there was a patient in the ICU and that patient had fallen and they were on the stretcher and I don't know why this came to me, but she was on a stretcher most of the day and I kept calling the doctor and calling the doctor all day. She'd been there for hours and hours. So my thing with her was to, in order to get the treatment that you need to cancel your doctor and get out of the hospital and go to another hospital. Because I knew within myself, if she did not get the care right away, that she would have lost. mobilization of her limbs because it was a serious injury to her spine.
Oh,
So then
wow.
she did go, came back later afterwards, and and was very thankful that she did after she got the prognosis of what was going on with her.
Wow, so you actually told her to go to a different hospital. Wow.
I would say, would if it was me, if I put myself in her position, what would I do? What would I like happen to me?
Yeah.
And if it was my mother, what would I like happen to her? I would like someone to say, this is necessary, it is urgent, you need to take care of it now. You don't need to wait because of rules and regulations.
Hmm. Yeah. That's like even in healthcare today, there's a lot of rules and doctors like they order all of these unnecessary tests because they're trying to protect themselves, not do what's best for the patient. So I can understand where you're coming from.
Yes, and you have to be educated. You have to be on top of the best practices, right? In order to give the best care. And even sometimes you run into difficulties there.
Yeah. So what have you been doing since you retired?
Well, I think that being in that position, having to give medications and having to know that there are other methods that would bring about the same results, I was actually in my spirit, in my inner being, um, did alternative medicine. All they have a pill for everything. Want to go to sleep, wake up. Want to eat, want to lose weight, want to do this. And all these pills, I even had patients that would be taking these pills and they would be passing the pills without digestion.
Mm,
And so I knew that there was an alternative way.
mhm.
So I chose that. I retired early.
You retired early, and then
Yeah.
did you find like the solution?
I don't know if I found the solution per se, but for my family, the education I have with alternative medicine, it prevented them from doing many surgeries or going into the hospital and staying long periods of time because I was familiar with that kind of environment.
Mhm.
When I say we know that we who work in the hospital or worked in the hospital, we know that the food they give you is not really nutritious food.
Mhm. Yeah.
Patients don't like it. It is not nutritious for the body, and some of it is just processed.
Mhm.
And then they
Yeah.
have not only the diet, the diet is not where it should be. Then you have the medications that are counteractive or counterproductive to the system. You're
Mhm.
given one medicine for an organ, and then that same medicine you're given for one organ or for one part of the body is causing damage to multiple organs in the body.
Mm.
So the preference for me was that I needed to make my body and put my body in a condition so that if I had any problems or disease processes, that my body, being a machine in itself, would be able to heal itself or repair itself. And now I'm not saying that there are not times when you need to go to the hospital because if I had a broken arm,
Yeah.
I would I would like to have a surgeon put it back together but a lot of the diseases and the problems that we have, I think that they can be better or can be fixed without surgery and without a lot of the medications that we have. A lot of it is just nutrition.
Nutrition.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what is ooh, there's some bad feedback on my side. Sorry. So you have a company now, right?
Yeah, Moringa, Peace River
Or
Moringa. It's basically the moringa tree. It has, and I was doing a study on this when I was diagnosed with adenocarcinoma. I didn't mention this before, but I was diagnosed in 2009 with adenocarcinoma in situ 2, and it's kind of a cancer. I don't know if all of it is malignant. It was a cancer, but I did go to well, after the diagnosis, my primary sent me to a surgeon, and he recommended surgery. You know, and the question I asked him was, if this was your wife, would this be the recommendation that you would have for her under these conditions? And he couldn't answer me. So I got my answer even though he didn't answer me, because I wasn't going to do it if it wasn't good enough for his wife. So since then, that's when I made the turn, from the um medical way of doing that. It was chemo and radiation and drugs for a period of time. I decided to learn more about natural ways of healing the body, or putting the body in a position to heal itself. So basically, when it came down to it, most of it was diet, taking away all the sugars out of the processed foods, I should say. A lot of the processed foods out of my diet, and following more natural or plant-based type foods, you know. And so it's been 2008, 2009, 2009 till this time, and I have had no problems,
wow, that's
physical
awesome.
problems in my body, by just changing my diet. I know there's more that I could do, but just from taking out the processed foods and taking away the sugars, basically the processed sugars, and the carbohydrates, the processed carbohydrates like flour, you know, I found out that I'm allergic to wheat. So, you just change up those things and you feel better. You have more energy.
hmm And then, so is your business, is it a supplement or is it like a coaching program?
Well, it is a supplement. It basically, I grow the moringa tree in my backyard. I have about 10 of them, and
Okay.
it takes a year to mature. And you just cut the branches off, separate the leaves, wash it, and process it. Dry it and then process it to make. You can make capsules where people can easily carry with them throughout the day. You just need 2 to 5 milligrams, 2 to 5 grams. I'm sorry, not milligrams. 2 to 5 grams. This is like a teaspoonful to
Mhm,
satisfy the daily requirements that your body needs. And you may need more because sometimes we're deficient in some nutrients than others. Now, this moringa has 96 nutrients in it. It's an amazing plant. It's an amazing tree. And it has 46 antioxidants. It has more vitamin A than carrots, right? The carrots for the eyes,
mhm,
and for it has more vitamin C than oranges. It's just an amazing, and when you read about it, you fall in love with it. When you're next to the tree, you actually have a different feeling when you're besides this tree. Like it sends off some kind of signals to your body. And what is wonderful about it, I think is wonderful about it, is that the powder, I not too long sent some from my two nieces,
mhm,
and they're breastfeeding, and because it's nutrition, it improves the milk production, and the nutrients that you're getting out of the breast milk. So these kids look amazing. And it's because, I know it works because I took care of one of my, you could say, daughters, but is not so much my physical daughter, but one like in the ministry, daughter in the ministry in church. And
Mhm.
so I had her daughter for a couple of weeks. And when this daughter came to me, this child came to me, she was a little bit delayed. And I started mixing the moringa in her formula. I made the tea out of the moringa, and instead of
Mhm.
adding water, I added the tea from the moringa to her formula. And then she was so sprightly. She was just running everywhere. You open up in the cabinet doors. It just a drastic change. So I
Wow.
know it works. And I've given it to many of my family members, planted trees for my neighbors, because I really want the message out that we can do better. We can have a vibrant life without all the stuff, processed food that they have. We don't know how long meat is in the shells and stuff. We don't even, a lot of the vegetables, we know that they're sprayed with something to keep them, because fruit don't usually last that long. If you
Mhm.
pick a fruit from the tree, by the time it gets to you, unless it's sprayed or something to keep it fresh looking, you know that fruit, if you pick a fruit natural from the tree, that it doesn't take long to spoil.
Mhm.
And we don't really think about that. We grew up that we go to the supermarket to get our food, and that's not where it begins.
Yeah. There's like a process because of the
Exactly.
process of the process.
Yes, 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 yes. So the moringa, it affects every part of your body, and every part of this tree is good for something. But basically, the leaves are the most important. The leaves, because most of the nutrition are in the leaves. You can use the leaves as tea. You can use them as capsules. You can use them um, and as a seasoning. Sometimes you kind of to make a powder. You can put it
Mhm.
on your eggs, so you can put it in your rice if you still use rice. You can as a condiment. You can use it as
Oh.
a condiment, or you can use it in a pill, or you can make it powder and put it in your smoothie.
Mhm.
Teaspoon in your smoothie every morning, and you begin to feel better. And there's a lot of research done on it, but I don't think it is it. We use it as efficiently as we can
So how often do you take the moringa?
every day.
Every day? Like once a
Every day.
day?
Yes, once a day. I make tea every day out of the moringa. And what is so good about this, we had dinner on Sunday, and you can mix it with, you can mix, if you don't like the earth taste of it, and when you make it from the fresh moringa, you can add mint to it, you can add bay leaf to it, and just transform the taste of it. So that's what's good about that. You don't necessarily, if you don't really like the strong taste, because it's not like a mild tea like mint tea, it has a stronger flavor. So, and if you don't like that flavor, you can add other things to it,
Okay,
but
so
at
you
least you're
can
getting
mix
the nutrients in it.
so you can mix it with other things to change the taste.
Yes, yes. And I watched a video, and I don't have blood pressure problems, but this doctor, he had gone through a 7-day period where he did the 7 days of experimenting with the moringa, and his blood pressure was kind of on the high side. But every day he was using the moringa, and this is something he had bought on Amazon, and he was he, every morning he would take the blood pressure, and he would tell you he's taking the powder and mixing his smoothie today, or he would do it something in the evening, or he would drink the tea. But at the end, he was saying there was a significant difference in his blood pressure in those 7 days. By the 7 days, this blood pressure was down. Now,
Mm.
I don't know if it, for me, what I'm gathering is that we change the diet. We change what we put in our bodies, the potassium, the magnesium, the calcium. We're putting these natural things into our body, and our body is able to do the work that it needs to do, have the nutrients it have, so that we, our blood pressure and our arteries, everything works well, better.
Yeah, that is great. I'm
Yeah.
gonna take that's do you have a website where you share all of your where people can buy from?
I think Juanita set up one for me, and I just have to kind of work with that a little bit
Oh,
more.
oh,
But
okay.
she's been helping me. She's been helping me with the business. Like when I have, when I make the product, to get it out to other people. I've been
Awesome.
basically working with my family, but I would like and my neighbors, but I would like to do more than that.
Do more of that. Well,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So, do you have any other passions? Is this your main passion that you're working on right now, your business?
Yeah, the moringa, but he's blessed me. The Father has blessed me to do, to have other products, things I grew up with, like the gully root. We call it gully root. It has another name, another scientific name. But this also, like, it cures your colds. It just has such an important. It have a lot of nutrients in it also. So there are a variety of plants that I have that I would like to bring to the public. I would like to share with others. You know, like for instance, the papaya tree. I have a couple of those. And by just studying these, I find out that papaya, because we talk about dengue fever was here in Florida. They thought it came from South America, but the papaya leaves us from malaria, dengue fever, and I say there is so many nutrients that just available that we have ignored because there's so much emphasis on doing patent medicine. And
Mm,
we can avoid some of the things that we go through if we just have these plants at home.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a big backyard where you grow all of your
Yes,
ingredients.
I have lots of trees.
That's
Lots of trees. Lots of trees that help your body. I have guava, and I found that guava leaves help, mango leaves help. And these are like people with diabetes. I even have an insulin plant, and I didn't, like, when you start doing the research, it is so much there that you can attain. But I come down to the one thing is, if you give your body what it needs, then it would do the work it needs to do.
Mhm.
It works with you, yes.
Yeah, because sometimes with the fast-paced life that
Yes.
you want the
Yeah.
pills, you want the quick solution, the fast food and stuff. But when you go back to your roots and eat like the natural
Yeah.
stuff, that's
Yeah.
when your body can do most of the work.
Yes, that is so true. I think about when I was in the hospital, go back there. Um, you work for a couple of hours, and it's going at 7 o'clock or 6:30, going 6:30, and sometimes you don't get breakfast, right? Then you go to the cafeteria supposedly to get something after you get report and so forth, and they serve you bacon. They may serve you the greasy eggs or the greasy egg
Mhm,
powder and the biscuit, whatever it is. How much nutrition is in that? And if you have to buy the juice, it is in a can. It's nothing fresh about it,
mhm,
but it's quite
yeah.
expensive. And what I'm saying is that we have to discipline ourselves. It's not easy. I don't say it's easy, but we have to become more conscious of what we eat and how we eat.
Mhm,
And it's not easy,
yeah.
but you take one step at a time. And it was difficult for me because I remember I would make my juices, my green juices, and take to work with me. And not everybody understands. Sometimes I will put it in the refrigerator and people will frown on it because if it stays, natural juices, if it stays in the refrigerator more than one day, like sometimes you forget about it on Friday and you're not back till next Monday, it may turn different color. Is from green to something
Yeah.
other color. So that was something I had to go through because I was really wanted to feed my body instead of just looking good. You go to the cafeteria and everybody's looking at your plate and see what you're eating, and they think that's good food. Because like you go to
Yeah.
McDonald's and you buy this stuff and it looks good, but if you really think about what you're eating, it is not so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like on the outside it's good, but when you look at like when you actually like take a bite and then you like chew it like slowly, you're like, it doesn't taste as good as it looks.
I think that we are visual beings, and I think that's part of it. We are visual beings. So when we see the
Exactly.
advertisement, it looks so beautiful. And the first thing is that
Hmm.
your saliva, especially something to eat, our saliva glands begin to start to water, and we want it, but we don't really think about what is it doing for us or what are we doing to ourselves unless we educate
Hmm.
ourselves. And then I might saw some documentaries where they're even growing the food in the lab now. What do you,
Oh yeah.
come
The
on.
Impossible Burger.
Yeah. Not only are they fixing the food with a lot of hormones and stuff, now they want to manufacture your food instead of having a cow. They want to grow it. Come on. We have to
Yeah.
educate our young people because they're so used to the quick, 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 you know.
Hmm. So where do you see like the healthcare industry like from now to like the future?
I don't know if that's going to change because that's power. How do you change that power system? We have to start from the grassroots. I believe, like, if we have another pandemic when the grocery stores are going to be empty and there's nothing on the shelves, what are you going to do? What are we going to
Mm,
do?
what are we?
What are we going to do? Are we going to be there crying and demonstrating and knocking on the walls, or are we going to be, prepared to meet the situation?
Yeah, I sometimes like you live in
Yeah.
Florida or you live in
Yeah.
a very nice weather area. So how can people who live in like a colder area or something like learn how to like grow their food like where the weather is not as
We have,
tropical?
there's a lot that is going on. Even in the cold weather, they have special built, how do you call them, hot houses where they
Yeah.
have, yeah,
Greenhouse.
greenhouses, or yeah, greenhouses is the name, and they're using geothermal energy now, where you go down like 10 feet, and the earth will
Mhm.
heat up the greenhouse, and then
Oh.
you grow plants like that. For me, I've
So do you,
hmm
go ahead.
and you can in little space you can grow enough food for 4 families in a greenhouse like 10 um by 20, 10 by 20 by 7 or 8. You can grow enough food. I have an aquaponic system, and I really can grow food in there, but I haven't optimized it, so there's so many different ways that we can do things. This, the aquaponics has to do with a cycle that goes continuously. It is an enclosed cycle where you have the fish and you have the water, you have the plants, and it cycles back. So it's a contained
Oh,
system. So you can grow a lot of your vegetables there, a lot of your herbs there.
okay. That's awesome. I'm glad that you're taking your knowledge that you've learned and you're using it to help others and
Yes,
help your family. That's
yes.
awesome. So, is there anything else you want to leave with the audience as we
I would like
close?
to tell everyone, even if you live in a cold climate, you do have summer months. Start your little garden. We can now use pots, or you have bags now that you can order from Amazon, where you just put the dirt in the bag and you grow your peppers or you grow your cucumbers, in the sun. And then if the temperatures get cold, sometimes you can take them in with you. But do something. Do your
Yeah.
herbs and vegetables.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait. I think I'm gonna start me a little garden
Yes,
too.
yes, yes. That's what I
And
want to do. Inspire others to try. Isn't amazing? I tell
yeah.
you, I haven't been to the doctor. I mean, for any ailments, I still do a yearly checkup, right? But
Hmm.
the Father's been good to me, and I'm trying to help my own body heal itself.
That's great when you can take control
Yes.
and you can feed your body good
Hmm.
nutrients because when you put good in, good comes out.
Yes. I
Awesome.
want
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's so much I want to share with you, though. Don't be discouraged. Just take one step at a time, one area in your life, and you will find that, it will be like the step forward. Once you see it worked here, you'll do a little bit more. But sometimes we want it done all at once, and we defeat that
Mhm.
because, it says it doesn't work. But just one area at a little bit at a time, and you'll find out that it will work.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be interviewed, and I hope you have a great one. And I can't wait to do other growing stuff. I'm
Yes,
excited.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Say bye bye now.